the EQ Video Tip. I'm your host, Eric Forsetter. As always, we're so thrilled that you're here to join us today. Before we get started on this week's tip, let's take a quick review of the goals of EQ Video Tip. Welcome back. We've got a great show today, and it comes to us from Heather Landy of The Court. She's an editor over there, and she did a great interview with Melody Wilding, who wrote a book on how not to let your emotions get in the way of your work. And if you think about it today, there's plenty of times where you get frustrated with a colleague, a coworker, your boss, maybe it's even your customer, or maybe it's someone from your home life that makes your energy and emotions so supercharged that you blurt out something that you regretted or do something you regretted, or just don't have the ability to calm yourself down and instead come off as a hothead or say something you didn't want. What Melody and Heather talk about are ways to calm your strong emotions that threaten to get in the way of your work on a daily basis and threaten your overall competency as a skilled worker. Instead, we're going to focus on different ways to calm yourself down. So when you feel that blood rushing through your veins and you're ready to snap in and do something that you shouldn't, we'll give you a few ways to help you out. Let's take a look at this week's tips. Tip number one, we're going to try the 5-4-3-2-1 method. And it sounds pretty silly, but it's actually something that'll help us be grounded. And it's important to have these grounding exercises when we feel our blood rushing, our heart rate increasing, our shoulders tense up because we heard something or something made our emotions really triggered. So what we're going to do is focus on 5 things that are around you and describe them to yourself. Then after that, you're going to take 4 things that you can touch or feel. Could be your keyboard, your pen, something like that. Sensations and textures, just to remind you and ground yourself. After that, you're going to focus on 3 things that you can hear in the room. It could be another person, it could be the sound of your computer or your phone, just 3 things that you're going to hear. Finally, or I should say before finally, 2 things that you can smell in the room, and then 1 thing is going to be a deep breath. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 before you respond, and keep those emotions in check. Tip number 2, box breathing. And this is something made famous by the Navy SEALs. They do it for about 60 to 90 seconds when boats are whizzing by and they're in the middle of combat. We're not in the middle of combat, but we might be between meetings or between discussions with someone, or we had a supercharged call with something in our personal life and now we've got to go into a meeting. Take 60 to 90 seconds, and box breathing is like this. We take a 4-second breathe in, followed by a hold for 4 seconds, then a release for 4 seconds, and then we hold again for 4 seconds. Do this for about 60 to 90 seconds. It will activate your parasympathetic nervous system, so it's going to downregulate intense emotions like anger, fear, anxiety, while at the same time bringing more oxygen to your brain and relaxing you a bit more. This will give yourself a chance to activate that prefrontal cortex, or the rational side of your brain, relax a bit more, and temper that fear, anxiety, and otherwise supercharged emotions that are out there. Tip number 3, and this is an easy one, splash some water on your face. If you felt like you went through a tough meeting or emotional moment, take a moment to go to the bathroom, go to an area where there's a sink, splash some water on your face, calm yourself down, calm that internal temperature down from the outside in, so that you are calming yourself and ready for that next conversation you're about to have. Our next tip, release writing. This is a great one. Many times we'll get an email, we'll get something, a Slack, a text that we're really upset about, and our goal is to write back immediately and just supercharge those emotions back. Instead, what these authors are recommending is write yourself an email with all the emotions that you have there. Label them as well. Make sure that you're talking about it, because writing is just another form of energy in their minds, and it helps you understand what you're feeling and gives you 5 minutes of steam control, so you understand what your conscience is thinking about before you actually write that email that will get you in trouble or say something that you didn't want to do. By doing this, you can help label your emotions, and it's an immediate impact on the ability to let go of that grip that these emotions have on you. Our last tip: go out on the metaphorical balcony that's out there. If a situation has you stressed, imagine it as a movie or a play unfolding before you. Take a look and survey the landscape that's out there. Pretend to be a scientist and examine all of the emotions that are going through you and the others around you before you do anything. It's hard to sometimes take that step back, but if you can take a step back and pretend to look at it from a different point of view and understand everything around you, it will allow your mind to calm down and navigate through this challenge that you have. That concludes this week's EQ video tip. Hopefully these tips have helped you out. Again, use them to the best of your ability to help calm and regulate your emotions. But remember, each tip is meant to be customized and work best for what works best in your environment, for your mind and your body. So that concludes our EQ video tip for today. Try incorporating some of these tips into your daily routine. But remember, use what works best for you and personalize it for yourself. Thank you always to our great research team for providing us with some great tips today. As always on EQ Video Tip, we want to end with gratitude. So thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Here are some resources that you can use if you want more information on EQ going forward. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you.